Hey, Don.
Hey, Dean. Great to be here.
Thank you. Don, so you just started a hypothetical 1 year engagement, all right? And today's day one. Tell me, and everyone else, tell me what a fractional CMO is and does in the first 90 days. And before you tell everyone what a fractional CMO is and does, maybe tell everyone who you are.
Great. Okay. I'm Don Helms. I'm the fractional CMO at Toothfish Marketing and Branding. I started in marketing back when modern branding was just really getting started about 25 years ago. And today I do a lot of, honestly, a lot of full suite B2B marketing, brand marketing work. And that's where, honestly, I think that's really where the next wave of breakout brands is going to come from. So, and I think that's why you're starting to see a lot more focused effort in branding on the B2B side right now. So those businesses, I think, recognize that it's their turn. So that's the type of client I'm currently working with, and then any clients that are trying to build the brand. So getting to your question, I think a couple of questions that I would ask to kind of understand where they're coming from is, and to learn about how to be successful in those first 90 days, because that's really going to set the standard going forward. What do they perceive? I might even start with, why are you interested in a fractional CMO to begin with? What are the key outcomes that are desired? Because it usually helps to see what they perceive as the problems to be solved and how they think about branding and marketing. And then I like to start at the very top and kind of really the purpose, which is there a clear and compelling purpose, vision, mission, and values? What is the company's reason for being? What underpins their brand and what makes them unique and makes them special? Because that's what's going to have to come through in the work that's going to follow. Is there clarity in goals and priorities? So are they aligned on the most important thing? That's over and over again. I always say, you don't know where you're going. Any road you take will get you there. So really focusing on what those key most important things are is really is going to get you, if you get that nailed down, everything that follows will be much more efficient and much more effective. So focus, drive results, and then I think the other thing is just really understanding communication, both internally and with customers. Is the brand communicating what we think it is? What do they customers really think of us? And investing some time to really get deeper and understand what's most important to them, so that you can position your branding and your marketing messaging in the best possible way to make it relevant to that customer.
All right. And Barbara, hi. Oh, 1 second. I'm sorry, Barbara. I accidentally had you muted. That's my fault. Hi.
Hi, Dean. Great to see you.
Okay, so same question. Today's day one of a 1 year engagement. What do you do in the first 90 days? What problems do you typically see? Or what problems does the business not even see yet, but it's there? You're going to go find it. What do you normally see or experience or do in the first 90 days or so of a new engagement?
Would you like me to introduce myself first?
And introduce yourself. Yes. Sorry.
Okay.
Well, because with that mistake in the muting, I got all flustered. So Barbara,
that's
who are you?
Yeah.
And what do you do in the first 90 days?
Okay, well, first of all, thanks for having me. I'm Barbara Rozgonyi. I'm a fractional CMO, and I get called in when a company is ready to uncover its best story and use it to scale up. I've done that for all kinds of companies, all sizes, and even the UN and the World Trade Organization. So these days, most of my clients are building their sales teams, and I'm helping them perfect their approach, which I love to do. So what happens in the first 90 days? A lot of digging and reorganizing. We have to go in there and see what's happening. And one of the things I love to do is look at what makes a fractional CMO different. So for everyone who's listening, you have so many choices, so many people who do so many different things. And my specialties are bringing to you decades of experience in HR, PR, sales, marketing, leadership, and public speaking. So the first place we start with you is with a 360 marketing audit that digs into your company, your competition, your customers, and your industry culture. So we get a whole competitive flyover of where you are and where you want to go. So once we have that, based on the results, we're going to build out an accelerated marketing system that will power up, speed up, and lead up your team in 4D. Now, this is a system I developed and created over all these years of experience. It's built out of the 4 winds of marketing, as I call them. We've got digital, direct, dynamic, and data. And once that framework is in place, then we'll create a 6-month plan matched to your PR, which is personality and reputation for you, your company, your clients, and your team. And it's kind of like orchestrating an opera and harmonizing the results so that we create the song and the experience you want to have. It's a lot of fun.
All right, so Barbara, let's move away from the CMO's perspective then. Let's stay in the first 90 days. But okay, so let's pretend I'm the client's CEO. Okay, I probably had to get approval for the spend to bring in the fractional CMO. It's probably the first CMO the company's ever had, right?
Right.
How do I squeeze like every last penny of value out of that CMO in the year that I'm going to have that CMO?
Well, I love this question because that's where I like to start. I'm all about really being as conservative with your investment as we can be, but also getting the best results. It's kind of like when you're going to find your financial investor, where's the best place to put my money to get the best returns? And that's how I look at marketing. There are really 4 different things we'll talk about that really help you maximize your value. The first one is trust. You have to trust what I'm doing. And if we don't have the trust right off the bat, then, let's not work together. So I think that's really important to get that set as a foundation. The next thing is you have to be willing to change. And I've worked with clients who say they're willing to change, but not really, or maybe not so much. I know every consultant has said the same thing, right? So they have to be willing to change. And if you're not going to be willing to change in this crazy marketing world we're in right now, then I don't know what to tell you, but you have to really be strapped in and be ready to be on a rocket ship that's going on a roller coaster. There's all different ways you're going to go. Then you have to have the budget to invest. And even if there's a smaller budget, we can start with consulting and just see, take things step by step, do layers, do different kinds of sequences, but let's really figure out what kind of budget would be good for you. And the last is you have to be creative. And there are some companies that they're just not really willing to be creative, or they're so afraid. So if you can trust, be willing to change, have the budget, and be creative, we're going to get a ton of value in the first year.
All right. That was a great answer. Good job.
Thank you.
As the CEO of this fictitious company, great job. So, hi, Don.
Hello.
Don. Okay.
Yes.
So same question, I guess. Like I'm the CEO. Let's invert the question a little bit. Okay. So instead of telling me how I might get maximum value out of that CMO, tell me how companies, after putting aside and budgeting for that fractional, tell me how they waste the money. What do they do or not do that ends up wasting some or a lot of the money they've allocated towards that fractional CMO?
Wow, that's an interesting spin on the question. I think one of the primary things is being able to take an honest and realistic look at the situation that you're in. Realistic is better than having those rose-colored glasses and thinking that you already know everything and you're going to direct what that person is going to do. I think you have to have. There's an old saying that says, I would rather be saved by criticism than ruined by praise. So you have to be open to saying, okay, let's really take a look at what's going on so that we can identify the right issues that really need to be solved to get you where you want to go. And then, again, as Barbara mentioned, building trust and building trust not just with the CEO, but with the leadership team and then the organization in general, so that they know that you understand what's really going on, and then you're working to benefit the brand, to build a brand that's meaningful and that's going to capture customers and bring your revenue growth that you're looking for by having this person in place. So I think that honesty part is certainly critical. Focus, letting the CMO focus on what you brought them in for. Leverage the strengths that they bring. Focus on those key deliverables and don't try to do everything. Don't try to boil the oceans. These are the most important things, and this is what you need to be focused on. And that's what you do to be successful. I think also being open to direct feedback and learning. So, working in a close relationship with that mutual trust allows you to have those candid conversations and make sure that those things are brought out to the open and can be solved. And then I'd say finally to establish timelines and specifics. So how are you going to assess performance? What are those key deliverables in enough detail so that we know when that objective has been met?
Okay, so let's switch perspectives one more time then. Let's talk about the marketing team, if there's already a marketing team in place, because sometimes there isn't, but oftentimes there is, right? How is that marketing team going to be different at the end of the year or even the end of the first 90 days than it is on day one when a CMO or you show up?
I think it's probably a combination of things, but really based on having someone to come in and try to create clarity and understand what are those big audacious goals that the company needs to meet to be successful, and how does marketing serve to get those goals, to put the programs together to execute and deliver those goals as final results. So I think coming in with an unbiased perspective, the fractional CMO can come in and really create that clarity of goals and those priorities for the function to, again, release the people on the team to actually go and execute and do what they do best and deliver their best work by giving them clarity of expectations, clarity of goals, and what are those key metrics that we're going to be measured on to judge that success. So I think you'll get a team that will be more cohesive, that will be more motivated, and that will be really facing their challenges with a growth mindset, and also be strengthened by maybe people that figure out it's not where they want to be, right? So those are some outcomes that can happen. So I think it's really about getting people in the position to succeed, to play from their strengths, and to learn new skills. You get a really cohesive team, and you'll get a team that's going to be effective in what they're doing.
Barbara, what do you think? At the end of the 90 days or the end of the year even, like how is that marketing team, the existing marketing team, how are they improved or even just different?
Well, we're always talking about transformations. So, how are we going to transform them from feeling underpowered, ignored? The salespeople might be winning, and the marketing team are like, "Hey, we're over here." They're underfunded. So at the end of the year, what we've done is we've empowered them. They've got the right budget. They've got the leadership. They've got the systems. The company is running smoothly. And one of the things I would say is one of the biggest mistakes is companies drag their feet. And so now, instead of being slow, we've accelerated the marketing pace. And I think the most important thing is they are ready to compete in today's world, because where they were a year ago is not where they're going to be a year from today. And that's why they need a fractional CMO to keep them in shape and ready to run the race as it changes every day.
Right. All right. Well, let's go a little bit deeper then, right? I don't mean in deeper in meaning or anything, but all right. So imagine that there's a fractional CMO that's been hired, and you are the most junior person, Barbara, in the marketing department. Like you're fresh out of college, you're like 25, it's your first ever full-time job in marketing. Suddenly, there's going to be a fractional CMO in place for a year. What would you tell younger Barbara? I mean, it's probably only 10 years ago since you started your career.
Yeah, right.
But or me too. Hey,
yeah, exactly. We're all beginners. Yeah.
But like, what would you have told younger Barbara and say, like, look, this is an opportunity. You're going to have access to a person that is not just like a manager or a director. Like, this is a person who sees the big. What would you have told that person? Like, make sure you learn this, or watch for this, or ask about this, or what would you have advised yourself 10 years ago?
Well, first of all, I've always been like the person who enjoyed being the teacher's pet, which was kind of annoying, but so I've always been the type that wants to learn as much as I can and be as close to the people, sit in the front row. And then as a fractional CMO, and I'm also the mother of 3 adult children who are very successful, and I'm so proud of them, but I want people, I don't care where they are in their career, to be better because we've worked together. So if I were going to look back, I'd say, you know what? Let's just go for the ride. And some of my interns have just been astounding with their accomplishments, So I'd say, the stars are there and there's one with your name on it. So let's go get it.
Okay. And Don, how about you? What would you have told Don at the beginning of his marketing career if a fractional CMO just came on board? Like how to take advantage of that opportunity and access?
Well, I think it's a fairly unique opportunity for a junior person to have someone coming in with the experience and in the background that is where they want to go.
Mm-hmm.
So that opportunity for learning, for growing, for mentorship is phenomenal. I think as I look back at in my own career, I think I struggled a little bit to find that early in my career. Fortunately, I was able to find that later. And I think as a new person, finding somebody that can help you navigate this, I feel like marketing has probably changed more in the last 5 years than it has in the previous 20.
Mm-hmm.
So to be able to really be in real time with somebody who's been part of that transformation and to learn from that and be able to leverage that in your own career and move yourself forward, I think is a great opportunity and something that I would have certainly been excited by. And hopefully, if the person coming in handles that the right way, the new fractional CMO handles that the right way, it will really create a strong bond and strengthen the team overall.
All right. Oh, all right, Don. So I think we have time for about one more question. It's not that I don't know what question I want to ask. It's how do I want to phrase this to not be insulting? It's okay. So I'm just going to go for it. Right. There are easier ways to make a living than being a fractional CMO. Okay.
Yep.
Why do people do this job?
Well, for me, there's a lot of reasons. I think a big advantage of this is that you take your accumulated knowledge and wisdom of 20 plus years in the
Mm-hmm.
business, and you can apply it in more situations with more places, more companies, more business partners than you ever could just by being with one company for that amount of time. I think taking challenges from different types of businesses that I've spent most of my career in the consumer space, and in my practice, I'm dealing a lot more with the business to business side. And
Mm-hmm.
it's been a tremendous learning experience and just an awesome journey to really be able to take those principles that I've learned and honed over the years and apply them in totally new situations, bring people along, help people create brands that are bringing value and driving growth and profitable growth, and really understanding that purpose and what makes that brand connect to its customer and seeing that magic happen is really fulfilling, and it's just what gets me up and going and gives me energy to keep moving forward. It's it also gives you a lot of flexibility of time.
Mm-hmm.
It gives you time to work on your own strengths and your own learning opportunities, and I think it's a great way to really capstone a career in this field in marketing.
Barbara, like, there's got to be something you could be doing where you just coast, a lot less work, same money.
Oh,
Why do
yeah.
this job? I mean,
Well,
I'm asking because I know that being a fractional CMO at times, well, working in marketing, period, and maybe every job,
mm-hmm,
but it
mm-hmm,
can be enormously frustrating,
mm-hmm, for sure.
right? And yet people are crazy and they do it bluntly.
Absolutely. And one of the reasons is I am a shiny object syndrome person. And so this
Mm-hmm.
is the fuel for my outlet. But, I think we are like called to be in this industry, Dean. When you hear things like Sam Altman saying that 95% of marketing will be done by AI in 5 years, you're like, whoa, 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 wait a minute, And honestly, I started out with an accounting major at the University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign, and I was smart, but I didn't want to be that kind of person. So I switched
Right.
to marketing, and I love the creativity. I love collaborating with people. I love making things happen. I work with all different kind of companies. And when I see that we can do something wonderful together, it's not about me, it's about them. And yes, who knows? how the money comes in. I know there's some people that have these grand scale fractional CMOs, and that's fantastic. I like to be a little bit more selective and work with people that I really click with. And I love to have fun with them. I mean, honestly, for me, it's love, which sounds kind of funny, but I love what I do. I love helping people. I love figuring things out. I can't help myself from giving people marketing advice. I mean, it's kind of ridiculous, but that's who I am. That's my identity. And that's why I do it, because I love what I do.
I have an email going out to my mailing list today. It's probably been making its way around the world already today, that talks about how all of capitalism is based on hope, and nobody's deeper into that than marketing people.
Oh, for sure.
That's
Yeah.
true.
I just went to a conference in Chicago, and one of the speakers said that marketers have a huge responsibility because the decisions we make are what people see in their lives, their pockets on social media. We do have a huge responsibility to make the world a better place. And I love your newsletter, by the way. Everyone should subscribe if you haven't. It's perfect.
Thank you. Okay, so we need to wind up. Barbara, who should be contacting you? Like, what kind of clients or companies should be contacting you right now, and what's the best way for them to get to you?
Okay, any company that's in a tough competitive market and wants a creation advantage to stand out, to power up, speed up, and lead up, I would love to talk to you. And I do have a preliminary consulting session that's free. All you have to do is click my link on my LinkedIn bio, and we can talk. So I love giving people ideas. I think you can probably tell that. So you can connect with me. I'm on LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook. I'm also a photographer. So if you like photography, check that out. It's a lot of fun. And thanks again.
Oh, it was great to have you here. And Don, who should be contacting you these days, and what's the preferred way to do that?
So I'd say if you're a small to mid-sized company and you're really wanting to lean into building your brand to help you authentically connect with your customer or your consumer, to grow your sales profitably and really build it to be an asset in its own right, then we should talk, because that's what I specialize in. I'm on LinkedIn, Don Helms. I've got a new website going up, toothfishmarketing.com. You'll also see why I'm called Toothfish Marketing. And also, I have an email, which is info@toothfishmarketing.com. And those are the best ways to reach me.
All right. And you're saying that the website's going to be up soon. Since this episode probably won't air for another 2 months, it will definitely be up, folks.
It will definitely be up.
If it's not up 2 months from now when this episode airs, that's, only Don should be like carrying that load. That's his fault.
I'm thinking like 2 days, not 2 months.
Yeah. All right. Even better. All right. Thanks, Barbara. And thanks, Don. I really appreciate this. And thanks, everyone, for watching. And we'll see you in the next one or in the next clip. Bye.